and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Yeah!
It has been too long.
Very, I don't know. It's been more than 1 week. And after that, like, the timeline just becomes like one big piece of nebulous to me.
Yes. For those who are not aware, 2 weeks ago, we had to cancel the Thursday Hangout because I was pulled into work until almost 4 o'clock in the morning.
That's right. And then last week, I was at the Robotics World Championship doing the reckoning to make sure kids behave and robots do not explode.
Oh, man. No explosions. Did any robots catch on fire?
I wouldn't mind if there's like a small explosion as long as no tiny humans are hurt in the process.
Did any robots smoke?
Actually, no.
Damn.
Although the fire alarm did go off as the entire matches were about to start. That's fun. We got to make 60,000 people leave the convention center.
Huzzah.
Yeah, something like that. So, and then that same night, fire alarm goes off at my hotel room.
Ooh, fun. So, ladies and gentlemen, I, of course, am your host, Charlie, and I'm joined once again by the Clifford Counter himself, Zealeus.
Good to see you in the tubes, good sir.
But of course. This is the Thursday Hangout. It's a live show where we try our best to cover all the topics most important to you. If you have not submitted a topic or a question, by all means, drop it in the chat at any point during the show. We'll try to add it to said show. If we unfortunately do run out of time, we'll add it to the very next show. So, quick update. Video games changed for the good? ? Is indeed confirmed for MomoCon 2023. It will be 7:30 on Thursday. So, be on the lookout for that. And also, for those who don't remember, or maybe I didn't say, because it's been a while, we will not have a fan table this year at MomoCon. I'm going to try to be more mobile so I could get more interviews done. So, I'm going to try that this year and see how that goes in comparison to, having the fan table.
You've always been pretty dang mobile, good sir.
Yeah, but the problem is that there's an upside and a downside to having a fan table. The upside is you get to meet a lot of people and you get to hand out buttons and whatnot, and you get to shoot the shit. But at the same time, especially last year where I was really handcuffed to the table, it was really hard to do all that stuff and be present at the table.
So I think what you need to do, so you got the table runner. You should wear that as a cape at MomoCon.
Oh, dear God. No, I would, no.
You fit right into MomoCon as like it's your Ultra Confusion cosplay.
No.
I think you're missing out. Oh, what about as like a giant runner? So like it comes behind you like a big dress. It just follows you.
No, I'm not going to get a train.
I think you're missing out, man.
No,
yeah.
I think that going forward, if we're going to do Ultra Confusion, fan table, we'll need more Ultra Confusion people working at a convention. At least 3, counting myself.
Does my cat count? Can I bring her with a cape?
No.
But people, having a pet there, being a dog or a cat or a emu, would actually get probably the most table traffic at the convention. Everyone, it might not be for the reason you want, but it definitely get traffic to the table to at least get things started. I'm just saying.
Before you're kindly asked to remove your emu from the premises.
What if it's an emotional support emu? An emu, you get it? Emotion, yeah, you get it?
Yeah. I think your better bet is to bring your emotional support plant. Just carry around a potted plant the entire time.
That goes in your animal that basically says it's an official emotional support animal.
Still don't think that's going to work.
You can't Take my emu from me, man.
Yeah, well, you know. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, um, I don't know if it's actually going to happen this evening, but we do have an individual who would like to get involved with the Thursday night hangouts. I just have to work out the details, and I don't know how we would do the video. But yeah, we'll figure it out. Anyways, Clark, one of our
third remotee.
Yeah, our good friend Clark wants to put his hat into the ring. So,
well, is he going to actually? He is required to wear a hat. It's part of the. It's the.
I know at this point everyone's wearing a hat.
Excellent.
Anyways, okay, so let's get into some of these stories. Let's start off with the fact that Hi-Rez Studios and all their companies underneath Hi-Rez have basically stated that they're removing their games from the Nintendo Switch, which I totally understand. They just don't play as well as they do on the Xbox and the PlayStation and the PC. The Switch is not really built for that type of gaming.
This makes me think of another story from today.
So the two games that have absolutely been confirmed, of course, is Paladins and Rogue Company. They are sunsetting both of those. And so just go back to probably, if you were, well, actually, Rogue Company came out after the Switch came out. Paladins was before. So just go back to playing Paladins on your PC.
Does it make you feel sad, sir?
No, not really, because the only truly online game that I ever played on the Switch was Warframe. And it had issues when you're in highly populated areas. So I can only imagine, that fast Twitch games would not do very well on the Switch.
Warframe's one of those weird games where I feel like it's a game I should really like, but I've tried and I just can't get into it. Like on paper, it fills the boxes.
Yep.
But then when I actually play, I'm just kind of like, it just doesn't hold my attention, which is annoying to me. But
well, I think really you need to play. I mean, and this is true with basically most online games. You have to play with a group or at least one other person.
I would say it's probably fair.
Because there's going to be certain situations where if you try to lone wolf it, you might be able to do it. But
I don't think it's a matter of difficulty. I think it's just a matter of the enjoyment of the game, which may be because I was doing it solo.
Yeah. No, right. You can lone wolf it. You can absolutely lone wolf it. I never, with the exception of one time, I never teamed up.
Yeah.
And ironically, the one time I did team up, the douchebags decided to just chill, like right at the entrance, and were like, "Oh yeah," they started just talking about random ass shit. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to disband from you guys and go actually do the mission. How about that?
That's one approach.
Yeah. So, So Hi-Rez Studios basically removing themselves from the Switch. Not that big of a surprise. Now, let's talk about, I don't know if it's really that big of a surprise, but there has been a metric release for Overwatch 2. Ooh. Overwatch 2, of course, came out was it in October? Is that right? I feel like it was October.
Honestly, don't know.
October. Let's see here. Blah, 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 blah. Yep. Overwatch 2 was released in October last year. And so October to November, December, January, February, March, April. So 6 months into the life of Overwatch 2. And the gamer base for Overwatch 2 has dropped. How far do you think it's dropped, Zealeus?
70%.
I don't know the percentage, but how many users would you say?
Oh, 600,000.
Nope.
How many? I don't
Try
know.
18 million.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah. So, yeah. 18 million they've lost. And it's not getting any better. They went to the Game Pass or the Season Pass. And apparently the game here we are with, like the old Overwatch. Everyone's like, please, new content. This is bullshit. And now you have Overwatch 2, which does give you new content. However, every single time that they've added content, it has introduced several bugs, glitches, and matchmaking issues. So it's like they're not beta testing any of the shit before they bring it out.
Of course it is. And that was always the worry of like Overwatch 2, when you already had Overwatch 1, which for its faults was a fun game.
Yeah.
Was Overwatch 2 going to do the same thing? I think the problem with Overwatch 2 is they went so far in the monetization of the microtransactions, which you get, but it also gives you a very short leash on the enjoyment of the rest of the game.
Right.
I think it's part of the problem. Whereas if it was just like the $40 or $60 game, whatever it is, then you don't do all the other stuff. People, I think, are actually more forgiving, ironically. But I think when you start trying to nickel and dime the whole population and the battle pass and people not very impressed from the start, yeah.
Speaking of nickel and diming, I've noticed that there's this weird ass trend that I've at least run into on mobile games, and that is that the ad removal is no longer one-time pay for a lot of these things. It's a remove the ads for a month and a half for $2.99. I'm like, no. If I'm going to pay money, remove ads forever.
Nope, I've not seen that, but that is some bullshit.
Yeah.
Because the games I actually play, I'm more than happy to pay like the $5 or whatever it is to remove ads. I've done that plenty of times, no problem. But you're right, though. The ongoing, recurring removal of ads.
It is like a subscription for removing ads. It's just,
nope.
But like that makes no sense to me.
It's like a reverse, like Netflix with ads.
Yeah. Literally, to be honest with you, any game that has that as their monetization model, I'm going to uninstall really fast.
It's a pretty quick way to let me know I am not looking forward to playing more of this game.
Well, there's like you, Zealeus, if it's worth it, I'll throw some money at it. There's quite a few games that I don't even have on my phone anymore that I paid, the $1.99 or $5.99 or hell $8.99 to remove ads, and because I got a lot of enjoyment out of the game.
Same for me. I would agree. I would say if I play a game on my phone for more than a week, that's when I'm like, okay, I'm going to buy something. Now, it might be a week and a day I stop playing. It's totally possible. Yeah. But about that week is where I start to feel like, okay, it's worth it. And like, as long as it's less than $10, I never feel like a buyer's remorse. You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely.
So that's where I'm like, okay, if I stop playing it the day after the purchase, I got enjoyment out of it. I played it, whatever, I'm fine with it. Now you start seeing those microtransactions for 20 and 30 and on up. Yeah. That's where I'm like, I'm good.
Well, I'm okay with, like you, if I've got some serious gameplay out of it, I'm willing to fork over a little bit of money. And, if I give up on the game, a couple days later or whatever, I'm totally fine with that. And I understand that there's a lot of games out there that have those weird ass, like you start at $1.90, there's, $1.99 thing, and then there's a $5.99 thing, and then there's a $9.99 thing, and then it's a $24.99 thing, and then a $49.99 thing, and then a $99.99 thing. And
I also find it's a lot with the indie. It's kind of funny because I find the indie games are much more reasonable in their microtransactions.
Hell yeah.
It'll be like, hey, throw us a bone for $5 to get like a 2,000% upgrade or something. You're like, cool, brother. Yeah. Versus most of like, especially the gacha games, they have like the $99 buckets. And I'm like, no. And that's where, because we just talked about Overwatch, that's why I struggle so much with whether or not to actually get Diablo 4.
Right.
Like, I want to, but because I enjoyed the beta. I played the beta. I played like 2 or 3 classes. I enjoyed them. But just with where Blizzard feels like it's going, I'm like, I don't know. Because I feel like every decision they make, it's all about what can they do to get the most money out of the gamers versus what we can do to bring enjoyment to the gamers. You might have to pay money for that enjoyment, but it's all about eking at that. It's like the reverse, where they all care about how do we get the money? Oh, and if the gamer enjoys it, cool. Mm-hmm. And that's what's so frustrating to me, because the gameplay was fun. I enjoyed playing it, but just based on what I've seen on Overwatch 2, where it's gone, I'm like, I just don't know.
Shoot, what was I going to say? Oh, speaking of money, and ironically, Overwatch 2, Activision-Blizzard got sued recently over the fact that they were suppressing esports wages.
Well, that's shocking.
Yeah, so there was a civil suit that was filed that basically claimed rules imposed by Activision-Blizzard limited competition for players in its Overwatch and Call of Duty professional esports leagues and suppressed player wages. The individuals who filed the complaint accused Activision and their independently owned teams in its esports leagues of implementing a competitive balance tax designed to penalize teams if player compensation exceeded a threshold set by the game maker. So if you made more money than Blizzard wanted you to make, you got taxed.
That actually sounds like some mighty BS to me.
Yeah. I mean, look, if there is a, like, you know, in professional sports, there's, you know, a team cap, a salary cap. I understand that. But in order to control how much money you're doling out to your players, you're restricting the amount of competitions. And even after that, so you're not going to get paid as much because you're only getting paid, you only get your bonuses, whatever, for being like the best team in the competition. But also, if you are too good, and so you're racking in the money, you get taxed.
It would be like if you're a lawyer and you rack up too many hours, and the law firm's like, yeah, you know, work too many hours. We're going to just take those extra hours you worked and just take them away.
It's like, you're working pro bono for that amount of time because you've done too much.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, it doesn't surprise me that this happened, but it sucks. And the real question is, other than suing, what recourse do e-gamers really have? I mean, my guess is if one company does it, they're probably not the only one.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's just, well, to be honest with you, at this point, anytime you hear Activision Blizzard, some shit has gone down that's bad. It ain't good. And speaking of Activision Blizzard, England, United Kingdom, has decided to block the merger.
Nothing for you in the UK. The combined Microsoft Activision Blizzard.
So, yes, they have been blocked.
So, it was funny though, because when you're talking earlier about Hi-Rez pulling out of the Switch universe, one of Microsoft and Activision's big claims of why this is okay, because they're committed to things like bringing Call of Duty a competitive and on par version to the Xbox and PlayStation consoles to the Switch. And one of the findings from the UK was, oh, that's like technically not possible.
Yep.
Which is just kind of ironic when you have Hi-Rez at the same time pulling out from the Switch. I mean, the Switch does a lot of things great. I mean, it's a fun platform.
Yep.
But bringing like on a competitive balance the same graphical fidelity of a game like a Call of Duty, it's not going to be the same on the Switch. It's just technically not possible.
Yeah.
And so that's why I just found this kind of ironic at the same time that both happened to drop at the same time. So yeah, I saw that. Of course, Microsoft will countersue to get back so they could still push forward with the merger.
I just love the fact that Microsoft was it Microsoft or was it Activision-Blizzard? I think it was Microsoft came out and said it's the darkest day in our 4 decades in Britain.
Oh dear, melodramatic much?
Okay.
I mean, I'm ambivalent about it either way. Like, if the merger happened, whatever, and if not, I'm perfectly fine with that too, because I definitely do get the perspective of the anti-competitive balance that it creates.
Yeah.
Because you would have a very large percentage of the not just video games, but also cloud games and online games in one publisher.
Mm-hmm.
I just will be funny now the next time that Sony tries purchasing a developer and says it's perfectly fine, and Microsoft is going to be like, motherfucker.
Well, of course.
Because Sony is one of the companies who like put in motions and blah 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 against this, which I totally get.
Yep.
But it's kind of those things of be careful what you wish for, because Sony's definitely one of those companies that likes to buy up other developers to bring under their umbrella. Done it many times. So I mean, I'd be very surprised if this is what happened in the United States. If the U.S. had blocked the merger, I would have been very surprised. I don't know a whole lot about UK regulations as far as they go.
Well, they're saying that the decision really hinged on the cloud gaming market.
Which is kind of interesting because, like, you have Google and Amazon who basically dropped out of the cloud gaming market.
Yep.
So from that perspective, but I feel weird about that because you're right. Microsoft then does own the market.
Yep.
But it's because the other companies failed to capture the market.
Yep.
So it's a little bit of a gotcha of like, haha, you guys own the market. And Microsoft's like, yeah, because they tried and failed.
Yeah.
So that one's a little bit specious to me from the cloud gaming because you have two companies who should have been able to pull it off. Well, let me rephrase that. They could have pulled it off if they didn't have to make bajillions of dollars off of every single product they release.
Yeah.
It's the call to Wall Street with you have to make uber money off of every single product or it gets dropped. Yeah. So I'm like, whatever. It didn't happen. Ironically, I do think if it had happened, it actually would have been better for games like a Diablo or Overwatch. Because Microsoft, from all I know, has been a pretty good actually steward of games. Or at least a little tiny bit less greedy than Activision goes.
But here's the funny thing, okay? So UK blocks the deal. South Africa approves the deal. It looks like the South Africa, Japan, Chile, Brazil, Saudi Arabia, and Serbia have already approved the deal. Interplayer 3. Sup, Joel? And then it looks like the EU is going to also approve it. as well. So, so it's just Britain going, no, no. So what happens? Like, okay, so UK blocks it, but everyone else accepts it. So does that mean that?
Yeah. What does that actually mean? Like, what happens?
I don't know. Because let's be brutally honest. There is not a damn thing in this world that every single country is going to agree on. Ever. So is it like if they have the, what do you call it, the majority of the countries out there, the merger goes through?
I have no idea on this. We really need like a lawyer to be like, what actually happens? I don't know. Like, can you still? I have no idea. Like anything I guess would be complete bullshit.
Okay, so I'm going to take a step back real quick, and we lost Zealeus. Damn it. Okay, so basically, the deal is that Activision-Blizzard are trying to merge with Microsoft, and the UK has decided that it should not. They're blocking the merger. Oh, Zealeus is back. Huzzah! But there's already countries that have already approved it. So the question we were, trying to figure out, and because we're not lawyers, we don't know the answer, is so if UK is like the only country that says no to this, the merger still goes through, right? I mean, they're both US-based companies, but they do international business. So does it just mean that Activision, Blizzard, and Microsoft products can't be? You can't do that. You can't. I don't know what that means in the end.
My brain to think about.
My head hurts.
I don't know. Maybe somebody in the audience could ask like one of their coworkers. I imagine we have some business people who know people who know people who know people. They could be like, "What does hypothetically mean?"
Right. I don't know. Well, I guess we'll find out. I just, it'll be interesting to see. I think when is this merger supposed to take place?
Right now.
Yeah, right now during this meeting.
During the show, it's going live. Diablo 4 brought to you by Microsoft as a subsidiary of Activision, EA, and other random companies.
Sup, Clark? No, I just I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out what happens.
I suppose we will eventually.
Yeah.
As they go through countersuits and all that fun stuff again.
Yeah.
It's not over yet.
Okay, so let's change gears just a little bit. Let's actually leave the realm of Activision Blizzard for half a second. I don't know how many people out there have played Hogwarts Legacy. I know that's still a hot button topic because of the attachment to J.K. Rowling's, but it's a fantastic game. I'm not gonna lie, it's a great game. I played and beat it. I put way too many hours into it. I'm not gonna. It's over 60 hours. But I really enjoyed the game. And here's the thing, and I've stated this before. I understand that there are people out there who feel that by buying that game, you're supporting J.K. Rowling's. Financially, yes. But you could still get the game and not have to support her views. The other thing is you've got the entire company, I think it's Portkey Games, that developed the game, that through the sales, they get to pay their developers and their artists and their testers and all that stuff, who I'm going to be, I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to assume, I'm going to probably say maybe 85 to 95% of that workforce does not support what J.K. Rowling is saying. So why would you want to hurt them? because it's a solid game.
I mean, if you want to boycott the game, I don't think you're actually hurting them. You're just making your own moral decision. It's not like you're blocking. It's not like the Activision Microsoft merger where you're trying to actually block it altogether. You're just taking your own moral stance, which in the context of it, I don't think is the worst thing.
No,
it's
right.
Very different than being like, we must block it from ever being sold.
No, but the problem is you got so many people that are getting up on their soapboxes and basically trying to demonize anyone who buys the game. I understand. Look, it's your prerogative. If you feel that by you buying that game, you're supporting J.K. Rowling, so you're not going to buy the game, cool. But when you start calling out people saying, because you got it, you are now a racist, sexist, bigoted, add another ageist, I don't know, just add all the ists to there. That's ridiculous.
Ultra-confusionist.
I'm always an ultra-confusionist.
Yeah, I mean, if you do go fully down the route you're saying is you basically could not ever buy a product ever again unless it's like Amish. Because every company is going to have some kind of exec or somebody who has some kind of philosophical difference of what you believe in. And
we got Chick-fil-A.
Yeah. I mean, I love my damn Chick-fil-A sandwiches. Don't get me wrong.
Same here. I do not support the upper management's views on things.
You can separate the two. I'm going to buy a product because I enjoy it. Doesn't mean I support what a company stands for.
What one individual in the company stands for.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, because I agree. If you go down that route, then you better start looking at, every food you basically own is owned by Nestle or PepsiCo.
Yep.
So you better be ready to deal with those big conglomerates that own like everything you eat and drink. And somewhere along the line, I guarantee you, there's another, just like the owner of Chick-fil-A or a J.K. Rowling's, where they're going to be morally reprehensible to you. So I hope you're growing a garden in the back of your yard, and that's all you consume.
So Alex stated that she donates to Planned Parenthood every time she eats Chick-fil-A. So, I mean, if that's the route you got to go, yeah, okay.
I get it, yeah.
Hell, if that's what it takes to buy a J.K. Rowling product is to then donate to an LGBTQ plus organization, Shazam, I mean,
that's one of the realities of living in a globalization economy where anything you assume is going to touch potentially those companies that you don't like morally. I don't know how you live with that other than potentially, as Alex mentions, making up for other ways.
Yeah.
Because you can't escape it.
No.
I don't know how you would, other than being Amish.
And even then, let's not even go into what Amish think and believe.
I just like their furniture, okay? It's damn good furniture.
I'll take your word for it.
Wait, have you ever been to like an Amish furniture shop?
Nope.
It is the best. Really, dude, it's like literally the best woodworking furniture. Like you would give it down to your kids, and it would still look like it was made yesterday. It's fantastic stuff. You're missing out.
And we now have the title for our show this week. Amish furniture is the best.
Glad I could be useful for something.
Just so you know, when I did play Hogwarts Legacy, I was a Ravenclaw through and through. And
I'll play it eventually.
There's definitely a character who had the hots for my character.
Can you actually do relationships in the game?
No.
Well, that's dumb.
No. However, there are at least one, maybe more LGBTQ plus relationships in the game.
But you can't actually interact with them.
No. So, like, you'll run into someone going, "Oh yes," you'll run into a female professor, and she stated, if you ever run into my wife, I'm like, what now? I was like, bravo. But anyways, okay, so Hogwarts Legacy, there's one huge thing that's missing from Hogwarts Legacy, and that, of course, is the competitive game that takes center stage early on in the Harry Potter series. That, of course, is Quidditch. There was a announcement within the last month that there is going to be a standalone competitive multiplayer Quidditch game.
Interesting.
Now, if I remember right, I had a Harry Potter Quidditch game, which I got really, really good at on the GameCube. I think it was on the GameCube.
That'd actually be a good VR game.
Oh my god, dude! I would get so sick, right on that broom, ups and downs, doing.
It would be the epitome of VR because it's the three. I mean, because it's the 3-dimensional, right? And that's the whole supposed to be selling point of VR is a 3D ecosystem. So yeah, I mean, you might have to have a throw-up bucket next to you waiting, but there should be a game made for VR if any game has ever been for VR.
It was for the GameCube. It was called Harry Potter Quidditch World Cup.
Were you a World Cup winner?
Hell yeah, it was. I was the best of the best. Thank you very much. Let's talk about the TV show. Oh, okay, yeah. So, there is going to be a Harry Potter TV show. Or sorry, Harry Potter TV show because they're going to recast everybody. And
I would think so, unless it's about their adulthood, which I would actually not mind.
No. Yeah, it would be interesting. Unfortunately,
I would actually be more interested in the adult life of the kids than re-seeing the entire series again on TV.
I want to know what Luna's up to now. Crazy girl.
They could do a lot of interesting things. I mean, it's still, if they did a TV series, it's still focused on Harry and Hermione and Ron. But if it's a TV series, you could absolutely still have your side characters like a Luna.
Right. So the question I have is for this TV series is one, who the hell? The problem is that it's been ingrained in your brain that Daniel Radcliffe is Harry Potter, and unfortunately, there are a lot of characters, a lot of the professors, who have since passed. So,
I think the hard part too is a lot of the really good book or video game transitions to TVs.
Mm-hmm.
They're done well, but there's still enough of like episode to episode suspense. I mean, yes, people who have watched them or read them obviously know what's going to happen, but there's still enough of that, like, think of like Last of Us, right? Every single episode, they're still like, what's going to happen in this next episode?
Mm-hmm.
Even though it was based off something unpredictable. Same thing with Game of Thrones. Like, there's still the build up to the next episode.
Yes.
But like with Harry Potter, I don't think you can deviate, or you should, I should say, too far from the books. And you already have a movie that was mostly truthful to the books. Obviously, there's some deviations, I know, or probably more accurately, things left out.
Yes.
But it was pretty accurate to the book. So it's kind of like, because that's a large part of their theme for the, because it's HBO Max, right?
Well, actually, it's now called Max.
Or it's HBO, whatever.
Right.
And one of the large selling points of the episodic week to week is trying to, draw people in for the next week of what's going to happen to create the chatter. But if you're following the books and in some sense the movies that already exist, like, there's not going to be a whole lot of surprise, especially like the first book. Like, there's not a whole lot of suspense. Like, we already know what happens.
I know.
Surprise! Voldemort's the back of his head. Like, so that's what's going to be interesting to me about the TV series.
Every single time you have a book series that goes to a TV show, my one fear is one that they deviate, and they have filler episodes that have nothing to do with anything, but because they're trying to get that. Because they've got to hit this magic episode number, it's going to be like, Harry in herbology for an entire episode.
I think with the Harry Potter TV series, you have to follow the books.
I agree.
I mean, we say that. I think it's different than something than other books, like graphic novels like Sandman or books like Game of Thrones.
Well, Lock and Key is another graphic novel that turned into a TV show.
Which one?
Lock and Key.
Like you can wait because let's be honest, the people who have read them or read the novels or the graphic novels, it's a small minority of the overall population.
Right.
But Harry Potter's books and movies
right,
are such a huge ethos and background. I mean, and people who read Harry Potter, like, I mean, the fanatics, like they know every page, like backwards and forwards.
Yep.
I think that's one series. If you don't follow the books like religiously, it'll create too much controversy, not the good controversy. Like, I know there's no news is bad news. No, if you get that kind of controversy with Harry Potter, you'll turn off the fan base. And the problem is the actual book fan base is so damn large.
Yes.
That you can't turn off the book fan base. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, HBO has a good history of doing this. So I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt. It's just, especially like the first book of Harry Potter isn't very long.
No, it's not.
And think about it, how you go from like, the first book, The Sorcerer's Stone.
Yes.
Is that what?
Yes.
Like, it's a pretty short book. And then you get books like, The Order of the Phoenix. That's like 4 times as long.
Mm-hmm.
And like Order of the Phoenix, The Half-Blood Prince, like those, absolutely. You can fill in 8 to 10 to 12 episodes,
Yeah.
No problem. But to your point, I think you're right. Like the Philosopher's Stone, is there really a lot of material for that for like a good 8, or maybe that's a shorter season? I don't know.
So in the chat room, they're talking about sexy professors. Professor Garlic is absolutely... Yes, I totally agree. But
my favorite was always Tonks.
Well, yeah, Tonks. And just for those who out there who played Hogwarts Legacy, the girl Poppy from Hufflepuff, she was macking on my character so bad. So anyway,
in your dreams.
Oh no! It was, she was like, by the end of the thing, I was her special friend. Not gonna lie. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to pause for just a second to do some shout-outs for friends of the show. These are the amazing individuals who... Yes, she does, Clark. These are the amazing...
Pop Charlie's characters, Cherry.
Oh, boy. So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to pause for just a second to thank the wonderful people that help Alter Confusion continue to be Alter Confusion. So without further ado, let's start off with the Indie Cluster. The Indie Cluster is an organization of independent game developers that want to gain exposure by being involved in the community. They collectively journey to popular conferences like MomoCon as a traveling booth to help gain attention for their games. They make partnerships in local communities to bring games to the mainstream mindset. They highlight local, unusual, and rare concepts that challenge the paradigm of the common. They also host events to teach kids and minority groups about game development to hopefully one day enter the industry themselves. So if you want more information, go to indiecluster.com.
So you're saying is by attending the Indie Cluster, they still hope for you.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the next shout out we got to give is to the myth, the legend, Noodle Boy Media. And that, of course, is Noodle Boy Media was founded in 2015 by Andrew Tran. Noodle Boy Media, previously Whack Kid 47 Media, is your choice for professional photo shoots and panel recordings at conventions. They pride themselves in providing a high level of professionalism, top-notch experiences, and quality services. If you want more information and to view their full list of services, check out facebook.com/noodleboymedia today. The next one is the man who can help you with all those aches and pains, ladies and gentlemen, Hero Chiropractic is a unique healthcare practice set up by Ryan Moore. The company's focus to elevate a patient's experience of freedom, creative expression, and joy. They believe that everyone can be a hero and has incredible heroic potential inside themselves waiting to be unleashed. Hero Chiropractic focuses on mobile chiropractic care in the greater Atlanta area. They are committed to healing clients by creating a plan of action uniquely suited for each person. They make that plan of action as convenient and affordable as possible, and most importantly, suited to your individual needs. For more information, go to herochiropractic.com. And now, for the maestro himself. Ladies and gentlemen, need a new logo or want to work on a full branding and content strategy? Or maybe you need music or audio for your content, just like Alter Confusion? CrossPad Creative offers a whole host of solutions for individuals and small businesses. Just email Josh at crosspadcreative@gmail.com and see what he can do for you. Which, by the way, he was doing a live stream before the show where he was drumming away and taking requests. So if you ever have a chance, go check out Josh Clark Sounds to see his amazing drumming skills. All right, the last shout out. Oh, I need to get your new logo. Okay, Josh, send me your logo. And the last shout out we got to give is to the OG, the original gangster, supporter of Alter Confusion. That is Agile Axiom. By day, Axe leads both the development team and system administration team working with satellites at NASA's Goddard campus. But while not in meetings and many times during, he is the Agile evangelist Agile Axe, championing the philosophy of Agile and trying to make the world a better place for software developers, testers, system admins, and software projects the world over. This decades of experience in software development and leading Agile teams are brought to bear against evil processes, inefficient work, and bad habits. For more information, go to agileaxiom.com. Now, I know that everyone out there is just dying to know, how do I become a friend of the show? Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to tell you, and you're going to be so happy to know, that Alter Confusion survives on the love and support of fans like you, and so we have a Patreon page. Patreon lets you, the fans, lovers, haters, demigods, interdimensional beings, gods, demons, aliens, vampires, mummies, and many more, to become active participants in the work we love through a monthly membership. This gives you access to exclusive content, community, and insight into our creative process. In exchange, we gain a bit more freedom to do our best work and the stability we need to build an even stronger creative career. We currently have two tiers. That's two tiers. We have the $1 a month tier. That's $1 a month or $12 a year. And at that tier, you gain early access to all our playthroughs, as well as patron-only posts and polls to help shape the future of Alter Confusion. If you're feeling super frisky, we have the $5 a month or $60 a year tier. And not only do you gain everything at the $1 tier, but you also gain your name or organization added to every single Thursday night hangout Friends of the Show section. So, become a patron today by going to patreon.com/alteredconfusion. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I do also want to give you a heads up that Alter Confusion is proud to say that we have been fundraising for Extra Life for 12 straight years. Extra Life is gamers doing what they do best, game, to help sick and injured children at their chosen Children's Miracle Network hospital. The money that we raise through Extra Life will go directly to Children's Healthcare Atlanta as unrestricted funds. This means that the hospital decides where and how to spend the money to ensure the dollars we raise make the biggest impact in the lives of the kids they treat. So if you have the capacity to donate, please go to extra-life.org and search for Altered Confusion today. All right. So, let's jump back into it. I got to run back through here. Let's see. Okay, that's inappropriate. That's inappropriate. Okay.
What's wrong with being inappropriate, sir?
Nothing. I was just seeing if there was any topics that I was going to actually be able to bring up, or because some of those things are nice comments and thoughts, but not really topics. So I'm trying to think what was the damn it, I had a question and now I forgot it.
Oh no.
Have I played Dredge? No, I have not. I don't. Have you played a game called Dredge?
I do not know what the game called Dredge is.
Let's see.
But it's good.
Dredge. Video game. Let me check this out. A single-player fishing adventure with a sinister undercurrent. Sell your catch, upgrade your boat, and dredge the depths for long-buried treasure. Interesting. It's an indie game. And you encounter Lovecraftian creatures. Well, shit.
Doesn't look interesting.
Ooh. Okay. Since we apparently are going to a Harry Potter theme rest of the show, would you rather Hermione or Luna? Oh my.
Depends. How much have I drank that night?
Depends on how crazy I'm willing to go.
I feel like Luna's more of I've had some good stuff in my system. I'm ready to let loose. Whereas Hermione's more of I have an ambient fire going. And we're just going to cuddle, and that's probably about it tonight.
Luna would be into some kinky stuff. I'm just saying.
Luna would want to be in the fire.
Yeah, she'd be like, let's do it while on fire. Or when we get to the finish, bombard them everywhere.
So would that be in the HBO series?
Aloha Mora. Anyways, another question was, what do you think Hermione's favorite drink is? Well, it ain't Polyjuice. I'll tell you that right now.
I'd say an old-fashioned.
I don't know.
Old-fashioned or a good Malbec or Pinot. But only
it would be a sophisticated drink.
It's not the cheap stuff.
Hermione would definitely have a sophisticated drink.
Yeah.
She's very straight-laced.
She's not going to be drinking the high life.
Ooh, Josh says an extra dry martini.
Now, Luna would be all about the high life, I feel like.
Luna would be just hunch punch, man. Just throw a bunch of alcohol into
out of the bathtub, I'm all in.
Just throw a bunch of stuff into the bathtub, let the fruit soak in there, and roll the dice, baby.
Actually, she'd be the one doing keg stands, showing everyone else up.
She'd be doing a keg stand and then doing a shot off.
Yeah. And then she'd just smile and frolic away.
And she'd probably have quite a following as she frolicked away.
Without even realizing it.
That's true. That's true. Damn it! Now all I can think about is Hogwarts shit. You've done it, people! Ha ha!
Is there anything wrong with that?
No, there's nothing wrong with that. I did finally. I finally did fall back on a pastime that I had been pretty good about, and that is I bought myself some more Funko Pops. So,
what'd you get this time?
Give me 1 second and I'll show you. 1 second.
1 second to see Mr. Charlie's Addiction, because it's kind of entertaining in a sad children's kind of way.
Okay. I have the Shuri in Sunbird, which is humongous, but that's okay. And then I also got the WandaVision Agatha Harkness versus the Scarlet Witch.
Nice.
Oh my god. Oh my god. So now we've gone really inappropriate. I'll say screw, marry, kill. Hermione, Luna, Professor McGonagall. Sorry, Professor, but I'm going to have to kill you. I'll marry Hermione, and I'm in on Luna.
I'm the reverse. I would kill McGonagall because no. But I would actually marry Luna and screw Hermione because Hermione would be fun. I feel like Luna, but she'd be boring, after a while. Whereas Luna would keep things interesting and fresh.
Touche.
And spicy. And a little bit hot in the fire.
You in the fire, dude. You just want to get burned, man.
Love hurts, man.
Oh, so there is a game out there called Redfall. I think this is the one. There's a game, I want to say it's Redfall, that the physical copies, there's something funny about it. If you look at the back of the physical copy, Redfall. On some of the physical copies, it appears that it lists 60 frames per second on the back. However, there is a sticker that has been added by Microsoft that states that 60 frames per second will not be available at launch.
Of course.
So you're toting 60 frames a second. However, you're going to release it before you can actually... That's false advertisement. That's why you got the sticker. That's stupid.
Well, false advertising, is it really false if it becomes true eventually?
It's false until it becomes true.
But who's really counting?
The consumers at large.
And
Joel, real quick, Joel, my question is she in her animagus form or in her human form? Yeah.
So many options.
Yeah. So, the new Zelda is coming out soon. It's good. I'm gonna have a hard time not disappearing for a while when that game comes out.
My problem is I could never get into Breath of the Wild. I've tried on a number of occasions and it just doesn't do it for me.
Well, you're not you don't do well in open world games.
I also abhor the mechanic of all my shit breaking all the time.
Yes, for the love of God. Just I want Link to have weapon. I'm okay with, accumulating or accruing new weapons throughout the game. But it blows balls hardcore when you swing the tree branch you found once and it just shatters. And now you have to go equip another tree branch.
Yeah, or you're in an intense fight and you're one useful weapon breaks and all of a sudden it's oh, now I only have a tree branch to hit these 4 enemies with and I'm going to die.
No, I don't know, it's Dino DNA. I'll still play Dredge. It's not that I don't like breakable gear. It's just with Zelda, this is the first game that they've had breakable gear. I've played, a shit ton of games that have, items that have durability where you have to, after getting hit so many times, your armor has to be repaired. Your sword starts to dull, so you got to get, reforge it or something. I'm totally fine with that. But Zelda, Link is supposed to have a weapon that stays with him the whole time, not 75,000 tree branches, a couple of bones, and whatever else. I also am not a fan of, not a huge fan of limited ammo in my RPGs.
Yeah, I tried. It just didn't do it for me. I know a lot of people love it.
There's the there's the game that I've been streaming a lot of recently is Dead Cell, and
I saw that.
It's
because you played that before. That's like a return.
Yeah, and the more I play, the faster I could play it, which
fair.
I'm totally fine with. I still haven't beat the game because one of the final bosses, the dude can basically knock you back, and there's like this pit on both sides that will eat you alive. And so I haven't figured that one out yet. But you have one of the items you can pick up is a bow or a crossbow or some ranged weapon, and a lot of them have ammo. However, it's kind of cool, the mechanic that they have. They tell you how many shots you have, and then over time, if you get close to the enemy, you don't physically grab the arrows out of them, but they kind of merge with you when you get close. So, like, let's say that your bow can shoot 8 shots. So once you throw 8 shots and you're on the other side, you can't shoot anymore. But if you run up real close, do some melee attacks, you'll get those 8 back, and then you can hop back and start firing again.
Makes sense.
And yeah, I like Dead Cells. It is definitely a game where you're going to die a lot, and no run is the same. And the more you open up the game, the more variety you have, but also the greater chance to get really sucky ass weapons. Which
have you played in a while, Hades?
No. I have not. I'm waiting for Hades 2.
Aren't we all?
I mean, I played a ton of Hades.
It's a great game.
And I played it on the Switch. There's a phenomenal game that did perfectly well on the Switch.
Well, I mean, it's the classic case of, it was a pretty game, but it isn't a uber pushing the graphics type of game.
Right.
So you can absolutely still have great games from a gameplay perfection perspective, which Hades was, without needing to have the most amazing graphics on the face of the planet.
Down DNA is playing Hades right now. It's a great game.
I have not played in a while. I should pick it up before actually Hades 2 comes out.
I'll probably do the same. I'll probably, revisit it so that everything is fresh in my mind, and also I will have to relearn the patterns of all the bosses.
Yeah, that's always tough.
Yes, but they get in Dead Cells, there's definitely boss patterns as well. And there's
most of them there are.
I can literally unless something really bad happens, I will at least beat the first, maybe second boss of Dead Cells easily every single run. But that's not true.
And how many bosses
if I go the Castlevania route, then I may not survive the first boss. How many? It depends on the way you go. So there's a bunch of different areas. There's different paths that you could go. So I think technically 1, 2. I think you're going to at least face 4 or 5 bosses, but I think there's a way to face more.
But then if you face more, it's one of those games where you get like more loot and better EXP if you face more.
Yes, you have a better chance to have a stronger character in the end. However, you have a better chance of getting your ass handed to you, and you won't make it to the end.
So it's a winner. It's a trade-off.
Yes, and anyone who's played Dead Cells, if you could just tell me whatever the secret is to beating the bosses of the lighthouse, that'd be phenomenal. Because you go to
just go in Game Facts,
dude. So you start off against one boss, and then you beat them close to submission. Then they run away, and then they're joined by a family member, and now you got to battle them both. You got to beat them close to submission. Then they run away, and then a third family member shows up, and by that time, I'm dead.
Here you go.
Because that's literally.
There you go. There's your strategy guide. Go read. Go use your eyes.
Yeah.
I know. Very helpful.
So I do want to point something out. During the Patreon bit, I said early access to playthroughs, and I want to apologize to the patrons out there. I know that there has been a lot of playthroughs. However, I did post one this week, and I'm closing in on another playthrough to give you early access to try to make up for the fact that February and March lacked those playthroughs. I would love to say that it's because of allergies, because I'm still hurting, and so I want to sleep a lot.
So what's your favorite of those playthroughs?
What the ones I've done recently, or just overall?
Yeah, recently, yeah.
You know, the playthrough I'm doing right now is a game called Kathy Rain. You are a journalism student in college, and you go back to your hometown to see to attend your grandfather's funeral, and then like shit gets weird. Like there's a lot more going on in that town, that small little town, than first meets the eye, and you get drawn in and you try to solve it.
Game.
Huh?
Sounds like an anime more than a video game.
Yeah, that's true. No, it's so you got that one. And then the other one was The Adventures of Bertram Fiddle. I already had the first chapter up, and now the second chapter is now up. And that's nice. It's a silly, over the top kind of if Sherlock Holmes was not as good of a detective, and there was a guy who though thought of as useless, who actually solves one of the biggest cases right under Sherlock Holmes' nose. So, there you go.
It's like a different Amelia Holmes.
Enola.
My bad. Yes.
But yes.
But
much more humorous. And the design, it's just the proportions of the characters are, it fits.
Yeah.
Dialogue is funny, very humorous, inappropriate for some, I'm sure.
Oh dear.
Yeah. But whatever. But yeah, like I said, I'm trying to catch up on playthroughs, so I will continue to work my way through. I've even got more games to record and do the playthroughs for. So patrons, be on the lookout. You're going to get some good stuff.
There's always more coming from Alt Confusion, and of course Charlie.
Yes. But once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you are in the Atlanta area and you are available during Memorial Day weekend, come to momocon.com to get all your information. We will be there, or I will be there at the bare minimum. There's a panel at 7:30 on Thursday night, and come hang out with me. I will have buttons. And I will also have my brain doodles for anyone who's interested in one of those brain doodles.
Where do these buttons come from?
The store.
Oh,
I don't even remember where I get them from at this point.
I mean, the store's a sole place as any.
It's some online retailer. But I haven't reordered them in a long time, so I don't even know if that retailer's still around.
But you still have buttons. That's the important question.
Yes, I do.
Okay, just making sure that we got your priorities straight here, sir.
Of course.
I always worry about these kind of things.
Of course. So, Zealeus, what games you playing?
Oh, I've actually been playing a game that I know you hate. Dragon Age 2.
Uh-huh.
It's just a mindless go and beat the shit out of people game. Like, there's not a whole lot of thought or strategy involved. You just, I have big, boofy, booming abilities that will hack my enemies in half. I will press and go forward and beat them in the head. and I win the fight. Yeah.
My only issue with Dragon Age 2, well, actually, a couple of the issues that I have with that is, one, the game looked like, at the time when it first came out, I don't know, maybe they put some polish on it. I hope they did. No, it looks like a beta version of a game. They basically took away all of the outside world, and every single fucking map is literally the same map, but they flipped it, rotated, or put a wall where there was a door. However, they didn't update the mini map, so it still shows as a door, but you can never go through because it's blocked.
Which is funny because you literally just described Mass Effect 1.
No, Zealeus, you're so focused on trying not to think about the Mako.
Nope. Outside the Mako, I promise you, Mass Effect 1 is no different wherever you like. When you go to a planet, you go to one of the bases, they're all identical.
Oh, yeah. No. The bases
exactly what you're saying. You go inside the base, and you can see like a door that on your mini map still shows what's beyond the door. Oh, but this map, for whatever reason, the door is not openable.
Right, but still, it's a door. Okay?
But you can't open the door.
Dude, how many games have you ever played where every single door is openable? Is that even a word? There's not that many games out there where you can open every single door. Most of the time,
maps, the door you can open on the same exact map.
Well, of course. There's, once again, you have a ton of games that are going to have a shit ton number of doors. Some of them are openable. I hope that's a word. And there's the vast majority of them are not going to be.
I'm just saying, there's something in that BioWare age of games where you're right. They totally reuse the same assets over and over and over. No doubt.
It's to make it look more full of a game. But then again, let's talk about, I can't remember the name of the horror game off the top of my head. But if you want to talk about just insanity, and I want to pull my hair out, it's those you're going down a hallway and there is like a parallel room and the door is shattered so you can see into the room, but you can't open the door because it's locked. But literally, if this was real world, you could just literally reach your hand in and unlock it because there's only a third of the door left.
Or like any open world video game where it's like big and open, but there's a very low fence in the way that comes up to your shin. And you can go around every place else, but the one place where your shin would hit the fence, thou shalt not pass.
Or you've got like a flat plateau area, but you also have a ramp down. And there's nothing between the plateau area and the ramp. You should be able to just walk off the plateau and onto the ramp. However, there's a magic wall that unless you actually step on the ramp at the very beginning, you cannot go down.
Yeah.
Or jump over the stair railing. Which, you know how you fix that? You remove the jump ability.
It is amazing how many games don't have the jump ability.
It just makes it easier for collision.
No, I mean, I totally get it from a development perspective.
Yeah.
It makes it a whole lot easier. So it's like, it's a video game, so we're already in a world of not realism. So if you can't jump, I'm like, whatever. It doesn't bother me. And I hope it doesn't bother other people. I will say it is kind of humorous in games like Mass Effect where you're like the super powered badass and there's certain things you can't do, even though you're basically the savior of mankind.
Yeah. But I will say, okay, so here's my thing. If a game has the jump ability, I feel like it needs to feel like it needs to be a smooth experience. If it's completely botched, then I would rather not be able to jump than have like a shoddy, messed up jumping mechanic.
I would agree with that. That's fair.
So that's my 2 cents.
I feel like that was, what was that game? I know we both played it.
What, that had no jumping ability?
No, it had a jumping ability for combat, and the jumping ability is very ingrained into the combat, and it did it very well. I played it on the PS5. You played it on the PC. It was like the futuristic one. You had a party of 3 or 4, and then you met the people halfway through the game to like then join your party, and you could swap between them. I know you played it because you're the one who told me about it.
It sounds familiar, but I can't remember what it is now.
Well, I mean, it was your typical action combat type of JRPG where you had the party and stuff, but like that was a game I remember that did the jumping with the combat very well.
Oh, is that the what the fuck is it? Arise?
Not Tales of Arise, no.
Okay.
No, it was. We played this. This is probably about 2 years ago. It was well before Tales of Arise.
Okay. Well, I have.
You had your very normal JRPG jump combat, which was okay, but the game I'm talking about had really good. Like your abilities actually mattered when you did jump combat, and I can't remember what it's called now.
I'll have to figure it out afterwards then.
It was a good game. We both liked it.
Well, there you go. So, ladies and gentlemen, I believe that we've reached the end of our show. But if y'all want to stick around and chit chat afterwards, by all means, we can do that. But let's wrap up the show so that we can produce the video and podcast, which, of course, ladies and gentlemen, Alter Confusion is available on almost every single podcast provider. And then, of course, all of our videos go up on YouTube/Altered Confusion LLC. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank everyone for tuning in to the Alter Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. For myself, Charlie, and Zealeus, it's been a pleasure giving everything from our heads, our mouths, and, of course, our hearts. We'll be back next Thursday for another Alter Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
And remember, kids, keep on gaming in the free world.
Amen to that, brother.